Hey guys, real quick, let me give you a tip on the Black Friday sale. Any courses are on sale. 80% off of the sale is going on. Some of you doing other local and so
Yes po, ma'am.
Everybody, we will now proceed our lupang hinirang.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
A pleasant morning to our distinguished participants, also to our resource speakers. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Amria Tagulanao, and it is my pleasure to welcome you all in this webinar on Emergent Methodology of Research, a Mixed Method Approach. We are also acknowledging the research coordinator of Kalimbang National High School and the research coordinator of Millbrook National High School, Ronilyn Pulido. Ma'am Ronilyn Pulido, good morning po. So now, to formally welcome us all, let's have school head of Mansual Abdul National High School.
Okay, good morning, Mom. So first of all, I would like to thank God for the wonderful day. It is a great honor all the participants and representatives of this the OIC principal from National High School, Ma'am Laila Mantawel, PhD, CAR, our principal from Palimbang National High School, Dr. Pangi P. Balbugan, principal to, principal of Nebok National High School, Melchor B. Murin, the research coordinator of Palimbang National High School, Sergio Juan Lula, research coordinator of Nebok National High School, Ma'am Cornelius Polido, and all the representatives and participants, students from different schools, welcome and good morning. I would like also welcome and give appreciation to our guests today. Ma'am Melanie C. Ubungin, Master of Arts in Education from Mamantuan Abdul National High School. Ma'am Rowena S. Pombo, also the Master in Arts in Education from Jose Catolico Elementary School. Ma'am City Sarah P. Kali, also the Master of Arts in Education from Salipada K. Pindaton National High School. I hope you will enjoy the rest of the day. Once again, good morning and God bless. Okay.
Unmute ka po, ma'am. Ay, nakamute pala, nakamute. Sorry.
Ay, kailan din nandiyo. Ay, no.
Ma'am Armia,
Okay na?
nakamute ka po.
Immigrate ganun ay join.
Morning, ma'am.
Hello, Ma'am Armia.
Good morning, ma'am.
Nakamute.
Axel Cara.
Okay na, oy.
Ma'am Amplia, nakamute kayo.
Ay, sorry po, sorry. So thank you so much po, Ma'am Nida. So the purpose of this webinar is for you, students, to be acquainted and art thereafter with the mixed methods research and collecting data by citing different and so alam po natin lahat,
Si Ma'am
we are
Rowena
only
po
familiar with quantitative and qualitative. We are used to have quantitative alone and qualitative alone. But now we can have quantitative and qualitative in one research. So kaya yung webinar po natin today will help us on how to have both quantitative and qualitative in one research. Now, I know all of us are very new to this kind of setup. So yung ibang students natin, especially yung students from our school, they are not used to virtual webinar. But because of webinars like this, it gives opportunity to students to be more updated of the technology. So now this next video will inform us of the webinar etiquettes that we can use and we can apply during our session. So let's watch it. Ma'am Mer, nakamute po kayo.
Okay. Okay, to all dear participants, kindly mute your microphone, please. Thank you.
Ano? Hello.
Nag-play ba?
Wala,
Nag-play
ma'am.
ang household, ma'am?
Yes
Hindi na, ma'am.
po, ma'am.
Dinaputol po.
Okay.
Hanggang dalawa lang
Tutugtog
po.
ma'am.
Kindly share it again po, ma'am.
Yes po.
Dali, ano dali?
Alay lang naman.
Ding.
Sa pag-isaba, dira.
Be on time. Be ready at least 10 minutes before the activity begins. Number 2, be prepared. Find a comfortable place and keep your things nearby. Check if your gadget and connection will work well. Number 3, be attentive. Pay attention to the speaker while she is explaining or while someone is speaking. Be respectful. Wear appropriate clothes. Turn on your mic off while someone is speaking. Turn it on when needed. Use appropriate language. Keep your camera on so that everyone can see you. Post only relevant comments and questions in the chat box. Don't hesitate to ask, participate actively. Submit outputs on time. Avoid doing distraction to others. Number 5, be safe. Do not give your personal information to others like your password. Enjoy your webinar and have a good day. Nakamute po, Ma'am Amria.
Thank you so much po, ma'am. So, ayan, ulitin ko po yung ating iba sa ating mga webinar etiquette. Yung ibang students po na naka-on yung mic, pa-off na lang po. Ma'am Jazel, Andin. Yan, thank you so much, ma'am. So I know all of us are very excited to learn today. So to introduce our resource speakers, let us all watch this.
Hello everyone. This is my video of my simple bio. City Sara Cascada is currently connected at the Ministry of Basic and Higher and Technical Education as a secondary teacher 1. She is presently deployed at the Maguindanao Division BARMM of General Salipada Cape National High School as a grade 10 advisor and at the same time a Filipino coordinator. Recently, she is one of the writer of adaptive learning materials of the ALM of Filipino grade 8. graduate of secondary education, major in Filipino last 2003. She also graduated her Master of Arts in Education, major in School Administration last 2015, with thesis entitled Encountered Challenges and Problems Encountered of Arabic Learning in Values Education as Perceived by Alive Teachers of Maguindanao. This thesis is qualitative and quantitative research method under the thesis advisory of Dr. Rivera. She also aims that she needs to learn more, that she admits that the fact that she needs to learn more and for the benefit of the Bangsamoro learners, that she needs to, that decided to enroll in the PhD and and thinks that this course is a very beneficial to her as we already know that our professor assigned to this course, Dr. Hinaro, is a very knowledgeable and very smart with a lot of researches and publication published. Thank you for watching and stay safe everyone.
And thank you so much po, ma'am. Now help me welcome our first resource speaker to discuss introduction of mixed methods research design, Ma'am Siti Sara T. Kali Mae. Hello po, ma'am. Good morning.
Hello, good morning. Good morning to each and everyone. Thank you, Ma'am Amria Tagulanao. Okay, welcome to our webinar for today's topic, mixed method research. So my courtesy and respect to all the different participants, especially the school heads of Sultan Kudarat, ma'am and sir principals, my co-speakers, to Ma'am Amria Tagulanao, future researchers and students from different schools. Good morning to all of you. Welcome to our webinar. So my
Morning,
task is,
ma'am.
yes, so good morning to each and every one of us. So my task is introduction to mixed method research. So let me share to you my screen. Nakikita niyo po ba yung slides?
Yes po, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
Opo,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, thank you very
Opo, ma'am.
much.
Nakikita po namin.
Thank you very much.
Yes po.
Okay, so we're about to start.
Po, ma'am.
Opo, ma'am.
Kita na po, ma'am.
Wala, ma'am.
Introduction
Yes,
to
ma'am.
method research.
Okay. Once again, good morning to everyone. My task is for the introduction to mixed method of research, and my name is Sirisara Tupaskali Maed, secondary school teacher 1 from General Salipada Cape National High School from the division of Maguindanao 1. Okay, so our objective for today is to discuss the following. Number 1, key ideas or brief history of mixed method of research. Number 2, basic idea about mixed methods of research. 3, pragmatic standpoint in mixed method of research. 4, strength and weaknesses of mixed methods of research. 5, trends and issues of mixed methods of research. 6, advantage and disadvantage of mixed methods of research. And our last one is steps in planning a mixed methods study. So meron pa ba sa inyo dito ang hindi nakakaalam ng tinatawag nating mixed methods of research? Kung meron pa, so ito na, darating na tayo sa pinag-uusapan nating mixed methods of research. So, ano kaya ang ibig sabihin ng mixed methods of research? So, what is mixed methods? According to John W. Creswell, research study that combine qualitative and quantitative methods to answer a research question. So, it is a mix po siya ng ating tinatawag na qualitative research and quantitative methods of research. So kung tinatanong natin kung ano ba yung ibig sabihin ng quantitative research, ito po ang kanyang definition. Quantitative research is a type of educational research in which the research decides what to study, ask specific, narrow questions, collects quantifiable data from participants, yung large number of participants natin, analyze these numbers using statistics, and conducts the inquiry in an unbiased, objective manner. So post-positivism, singular reality, objective, and deductive. Generally, ang quantitative research ay nag-attempt to quantify variables of interest. Questions must be measurable. So, example nito ay yung relationship between the level of interaction ng ating participants, of course, yung students, in an online research methods course. And what about the qualitative? A qualitative research is a type of educational research in which the researcher relies on the views of participants, asks broad, general questions, collects data consisting largely of words or text from participants, describes and analyzes these words for themes, and conducts the inquiry in a subjective, biased manner. So nasa constructivism naman ang qualitative research. Kasi nga, meron siyang tinatawag na inductive type of method of research. So next is yung tinatawag nating pragmatic standpoint ng MMR o yung tinatawag nating mixed method research. So si John Dewey ay nasa, ang MMR ay pragmatism po siya. It is an approach that assesses the truth of meaning or theories or beliefs in terms of the success of their practical application. So why pragmatism? Because it recognizes strengths and limitations of each research method. It values equal and complementary contribution of quantitative and qualitative methods in enhancing validity. And the third one translates into application of any approach to qualitative research methods. That aim is to explore and describe participants' perspective on aspects of intervention and of study. Example of this is yung point of view ng politics. Whether, kasi sa politics, nagkakaroon tayo ng tinatawag na yung mga analysts, they find the solutions to real-world problems in a manner that the solutions are generalizable. So bakit yun? Kung yun ang dahilan kung bakit pragmatic ang standpoint ng MMR o yung tinatawag natin mixed method research. Next is we have the brief history of mixed methods. So kailan kaya nagsimula ang mixed method? So the use of mixed methods or yung tinatawag natin a distinct and self-conscious strategy can be traced back to the 1800s. So napakatagal na niya dahil nag-start pa siya noong 1800s. So it is used in 1850s. The use of quantitative and the qualitative methods were contested and then came into acceptance, and at first it is unofficial ways are then more formally than the emergence of mixed methods in studies in Europe. So yan ay according to Lipley, 1855. And this one is to measure, the mixed method is to measure each of several traits in order to strengthen the validity of a research conclusion. So yan ang kanyang pinaka-brief history ng mixed method. So hindi siya bago pa lang, kundi matagal na po ang mixed methods of research. Nag-start na po siya noong 1850s. So what are the strengths and weaknesses of mixed method research? So meron siyang 11 na strengths at meron siyang 6 na weaknesses. Number 1 na strength ng MMR o yung tinatawag nating mixed methods. Number 1, words, pictures, and narrative can be used to add meaning to numbers. Let me read this one kasi meron naman po siyang explanation after our slides. Number 2, numbers can be used to add precision to words, pictures, and narrative. Number 3, can provide quantitative and qualitative research strength. 4, researcher can generate and test a grounded theory. 5, can answer a broader and more complete range of research questions because the researcher is not confined to a single method or approach. 6, the specific mixed research designs discussed in this article have specific strengths and weaknesses that should be considered. Example, in a two-stage sequential design, sa stage 1, i-discuss ito siya ng ating next na resource speaker. 7, a researcher can use the strengths of an additional method to overcome the weaknesses in another method by using both in a research study. 8, can provide stronger evidence for a conclusion through convergence and corroboration of findings. 9, can add insights and understandings that might be missed when only a single method is used. 10, can be used to increase the generalizability of the results. And the last, yes po? Yeah. Yes, pardon po. May question?
Baka napindot lang, Ma'am City.
Ma'am,
yes po.
Yes, sino po yung may concern, please? Wala na siguro, Ma'am.
Wala na po ba? May nagsasalita kanina?
Continue na po, Ma'am.
Ma'am,
Okay.
pwede i-explain yung yung mga examples o yung mga ginadiscuss, ma'am. Kasi di namin masyadong maintindihan yung mga words sa phrase, yung ganon.
Yes, okay. A while ago, sinabi ko rin na, let me just read it first since there is an explanation after the slides.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you po.
You're welcome. Okay, let me proceed. From the current slide. Okay, so 11 na po tayo. Qualitative and quantitative research used together produce more complete knowledge necessary to inform theory and practice. So with regards to the weaknesses, meron tayong 6. So number 1, can be difficult for a single researcher to carry out both qualitative and quantitative research, especially if 2 or more approaches are expected to be used concurrently, and it may require a research team. So number 2, researcher has to learn about multiple methods and approaches and understand how to mix them appropriately. 3, methodological purists contend that one should always work within either a qualitative or a quantitative paradigm. 4, for weaknesses niya, more expensive. 5, more time consuming. And 6, some of the details of mixed research remain to be worked out fully by research methodologies. Examples, problems of paradigm mixing, how to qualitatively analyze quantitative data and how to interpret conflict research. So ito na, isa-isahin natin siya. So ang advantages kasi similarly po sa strength natin. So one thing na advantage ng MMR o yung using natin ng paggamit ng quali-quanti, one thing you should think about from the very beginning is yung integration ng qualitative and quantitative results. So too often, it seems that people are attracted by the value of having more data from different sources. So without enough attention to how to bring that data into meaningful contact. So ito na yung tinatawag natin na ang advantage ng tinatawag nating MMR o yung quali and quantitative research method. Kasi nga, gusto natin ng maraming data na tinatawag natin na makagather tayo ng more data to different sources. Kasi gusto natin yung tinatawag ng nagiging meaningful ang ating research kapag tayo ay nagkakaroon ng tinatawag na mixed method. So yun ang una-unang advantage ng paggamit ng MMR. Pangalawa, mixed method is an approach that helps to have a more in-depth information and knowledge of the problem as well as provide rich data sets. So yun sabi ko kanina, a while ago, sinabi ko na natin na meron siyang tinatawag na pinapalalim niya o nagkakaroon pa tayo ng mas maraming knowledge about the different sources on our gathering data. So yan ang pinaka-strength or advantages ng using MMR. So the difference sa iba kasi kung meron tayong tinatawag na quali lang ang ginagamit mo, hindi natin siya pwedeng i-further yung iyong question kasi nga broad yung question mo, hindi natin siya pwedeng pang magdagdag pa tayo ng kanyang question. But this one, ito naman siya, anyway, this is just a introduction. Ang further na methods design ay i-explain po o i-discuss po sa atin ng ating pangalawang resource speaker. However, sa pangatlo is, it is one of approach that may seem to be very difficult to manager o yung researcher and require much more analysis and retention. More time and resources are involved and may be boring to the researcher. So, kailangan talaga ng mahaba-habang researcher ng time kasi nga dalawa yung iyong ginagamit dito. So, meron tayong tinatawag na quali and meron pa tayong tinatawag na quanti. So, yun yung kanyang dapat lang na pag-igihan o bigyan ng oras kasi nga dalawa ang ating ginagamit na method. So with regards to the disadvantages of mixed method research o yung tinatawag nating weaknesses, meron tayong dalawa. Ang pinaka-emphasize talaga dyan, yung pangalawa, yung dalawa lang. Kasi itong last na ito lang yung tinatawag niyang, binibigyan lang natin siya ng tinatawag na explainable explanations with the two na nilagyan natin ng X kasi yun yung pinaka-point ng disadvantages ng mixed method research. Una, yung workload. So pag sinabi nating workload, talagang matrabaho siya. So ang mixed method research is very labor intensive in terms of collecting, analyzing, and synthesizing two types of data into one research product. Takes a lot of time and effort and often involves interdisciplinary teams of researchers rather than individuals. So for this reason, mixed methods research has the potential to cost much more than stand-alone studies. So, ibig sabihin na trabaho siya, kailangan natin talagang mag-effort para sa pag-collect at pag-analyze ng ating data. Since we have very much time naman, so ang mixed method kasi nag-explain siya kung ang ating lang talagang kinukuhang point of view is to gather more information, knowledge about our topic. So mixed method ang solusyon sa ating hinahanap na method of research. Pangalawa na disadvantages niya, differing or conflicting results. So if your analysis yields conflicting results, it can be very challenging to know how to interpret them in a mixed method study. So if the quantitative and qualitative results do not agree or you are concerned, you may have confounding variables. So it can be unclear or how are we going to proceed. So due to the fact that, that the quantitative and qualitative data take two vastly different forms, it can also be very difficult to find ways to systematically compare the results. So since nagkakaroon tayo ng dalawang method of research, yun yung medyo conflict doon or disadvantage ng mixed method of research on how we're going to interpret between the two method of research. Kaya siya, yun yung pinaka highlights ng kanyang disadvantages. Yung una, matrabaho, kailangan natin siya ng time. Pangalawa naman ay yung papaano natin mai-interpret ang ating method of study o yung ating study. Kasi nga, gumamit tayo ng dalawang method of research. So another weaknesses of mixed method designs from Onwo-Busy. Yan, Johnson 2004. Yun, time-consuming and expensive, difficult finding a researcher with experience in both qualitative and quantitative research. Researcher has to learn multiple methods and be able to know how to mix each method effectively. Methodological purists believe that a researcher should either pick the qualitative or quantitative paradigm and not both. And lastly, how to interpret collecting results and analyzing quantitative data qualitatively still need to be figured out. So in conclusion, mixed method design can be effective to use only if the researcher is well versed in both quantitative and qualitative research method. So ibig sabihin nun, kailangan talaga ang researcher pag gumamit ng mixed method research ay both knowledgeable sa quantitative and qualitative research method. So for a researcher to be able to understand all these different methods and approaches, it would become very time-consuming and expensive. At yun ang nagdi-discourage sa mga researcher na hindi gumamit ng mixed method of research. Issues and trends is that ito yung tatlong mga issues and trends ng ating MMR o yung tinatawag nating mixed method. Topics being discussed in no apparent order in the mixed methods community include the growth of a specific research language for mixed methods. So ano yung specific language na ginagamit sa mixed methods? Yun yung tinatawag nating quali and quanti. How quantitative and qualitative data are to be integrated. The value and contributions of mixed method research, explicit techniques of conducting mixed method studies, and lastly is the steps involved in carrying out mixed methods research, the tension between the paradigms in quantitative and qualitative research, the discussion of who is influencing and guiding the field of mixed methods research, and the basic question of what is mixed method research. So kadalasan talaga siyang naging issue yung tinatawag nating sa MMR lang naman. Kung ano ba talaga ang language na dapat nang gamitin, ano yung talagang dapat na i-develop, yung quali ba or yung quanti. So anyway, ang ma-appreciate ninyo po ang MMR o mainggan nyo po kayo na gamitin ang MMR kasi i-discuss po siya broadly ng ating next resource speaker. Kung paano ba dapat ginagamit or ano yung mga design na dapat na gamitin sa quanti at saka quali. Anyway, magbibigay naman talaga ng better understanding ang next resource speaker para ma-appreciate po natin o magugustuhan natin ang MMR designs. Okay, so one issue of is the emergence of a language of research. So yun na yung sabi ko kanina, yung bilingual language na ginagamit yung between the quali and the quanti. Another issue is a continued discussion about the types of research design available to conduct a mixed method study. So this range from a parsimonious set of designs from the educators of Criswell and Plano Clark 2007 to a complex longitudinal evaluation designs from educational school psychologists, Nastasi and her colleagues, et al. 2007. So another topic na issue ng MMR are discussing how quantitative and qualitative data are mixed in a mixed method study. So wag po tayo masyadong excited dahil meron naman talagang magtuturo sa atin kung paano natin siya i-discuss o i-mix ang tinatawag nating qualitative and quantitative research. Ito yung steps. This is just an introduction. Steps for conducting a mixed methods study. Ito yung kanyang cycle. Number 1, determine if a mixed method study that you were going to have is feasible. Kung ito ba talagang study mo na napili mo ay masyado siyang meron siyang mapamaraan, meron ba siyang maibibigay na mabigay na researchable ba siya. Pangalawa, identify a rationale for a mixed method study. Yun yung step 2. Kasi yung rationale natin, ito yung reason for conducting the study, and of course, it answer the need kung ano ba talaga yung gusto mo na i-conduct sa iyong study. Pangatlong step, identify the data collection strategy and type of design. So you have to identify the data collection that you are going to use in your study or yung ano ang type ng design na iyong gagamitin. Step 4, develop quantitative, qualitative, and mixed method question. So kung paano tayo mag-gather ng ating question sa between the quantitative and the qualitative or yung tinatawag nating mixed method question on how are we going to formulate our question. Step 5, collect quantitative and qualitative data. So paano yung tinatawag nating collection, kung paano tayo mag-collect ng ating quantitative and qualitative data. By the way, ang qualitative data natin is ang pinaka example ng qualitative data natin ay yung tinatawag na focus group discussion o yung kailangan nating tanungin or magkakaroon tayo ng a circle of a group na tatanungin mo during your gathering of data. Yes. Okay, and step 6, analyze data separately or concurrently. So, i-analyze mo na yung data na iyong na-gather or yung iyong ginawa during your focus group discussion or yung tinatawag nating question and answer, yung nagbibigay tayo ng instrument para sa ating collection of data. And lastly, for the steps for conducting a mixed method study is write the report as a 1 or 2 phase study. So sa 1 or 2 phase study natin ay makikita ninyo kung paano natin, kasi yung ating paggawa ng report natin, doon na makikita kung ang ating research ba ay maganda, maayos. So sa 1 or 2 phase pa lang ng study mo, malalaman mo na kung ang iyong study ba ay maganda, kumbaga researchable siya, o kaya ito ay pwede nating i-publish. So that would be all. Thank you for listening. Stay safe and be healthy. Thank you, ma'am.
Ayan, thank you so much po, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you po, ma'am.
Thank you po,
Thank you, ma'am.
ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
You're
ma'am.
welcome po.
Sukran, ma'am.
Ayan, so if you have any questions for all the presentations.
Thank you, ma'am.
Up one up.
Okay, so we learned that for you to be able to master the mixed methods, it takes time. So mahaba-haba pa yung time na kailangan natin so we can able to master the MMR. So now to further understand the MMR, to our next topic. But before that, let's learn about our resource speaker through the next video presentation. Let us all watch it.
Okay po.
Hello guys! Welcome to my channel. I am Teacher Rowena and I would like to share with you my bio note. I hope you will enjoy and be inspired. Rowena is a product of one of the prestigious schools in Iloilo City, the West Visayas State University, with a degree, Bachelor in Elementary Education, major in General Education, and became a professional teacher last August 2002 after she passed the licensure examination for teachers. She was employed in the Department of Education last September 2005 as Teacher 1 in Jose C. Catolico Senior Elementary School and promoted as Teacher 3 last 2019. She made some project proposals entitled Creation of Big Books that help the teachers, parents, and learners in the teaching and learning process, and the other one is for the community with a tagline, Alay ng Kooperatiba para sa Komunidad, which aims to help the less fortunate recipients of the community. Her commitment and dedication to her profession did not lessen when this pandemic happens. Instead, it makes her more competent to do her duties, where in fact, she was one of the SSLM or Simplified Self-Learning Materials writers in English Grade 6. She was also a completer of CIMEO ENATEC, a Southeast Asian Ministers of Education organization. Guru 21 Course 1, Facilitating the Development of the 21st Century Skills of Southeast Asian Teachers, conducted via flexible learning modality and through iFlex from January 27 to March 17, 2017. She graduated her Master in Education, major in School Administration at Mindanao State University last April 2018. During her journey in the graduate studies, she was teaching the grade 2 learners who were the first batch under the K-12 curriculum, facing the issues and challenges in the implementation of the said curriculum. With that, she was encouraged to conduct research entitled Level of Acceptability to Sinugbuanong Binisaya as the Medium of Instructions in General Santos North District, General Santos City Division, using the qualitative and quantitative method of research. With her study, she was given a chance to participate in a poster presentation during the RACE or Research Advocacy for Community Empowerment, a multidisciplinary research competition and exhibition initiated and organized by Ascendance Asia, an international organization proactively working for the advancement of ASEAN communities last 2019. She was encouraged to pursue her PhD major in educational management in the purpose that she wants to have a research study that can greatly help the Department of Education to make the field of education be at its best. With the help of her professors, her colleagues, family, and friends, and with the guidance of our dear Lord, she will be successful in her chosen endeavor. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and don't forget to
Wow. So now I present to you our next speaker to discuss teaching mixed methods research design, Ma'am Rowena S. Mombo Maed. Hello, ma'am. Good morning po.
morning po. Good morning,
Good morning.
everyone.
Good
Morning, ma'am.
Good
morning.
morning po, ma'am.
Good morning po, ma'am.
Morning po, ma'am.
Morning po, ma'am.
Morning po,
Morning,
ma'am.
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 Morning po,
Okay, I
ma'am.
will present my slide.
Morning, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am.
Morning, ma'am. Morning, ma'am. Morning, all.
Morning, ma'am.
Morning, all. Ano on?
Morning po, ma'am.
Good morning.
Morning all. Wait lang, I will present.
Tama.
Please, so that our speakers will not be distracted. Thank you.
Welcome, ma'am.
Welcome po, ma'am.
Ganda naman ni ma'am.
Dali lang sir ha, kay naapagid ko'y murag technical ba. Nako, ma-share.
Yes, at mas maganda yung mga participants natin, Ma'am Weng.
Yes.
Mga manisan ka, palimbang.
Join ko.
Manisan.
Para sa akin, mas maganda pa rin yung mga teacher.
Thank you so much for that appreciation.
Akala ko po sangkat ka palimbang. Manisan ka palimbang.
Yes,
pala,
palimbang
hindi
kasi
na
manisan
sangkat
ka, palimbang. Yes, hindi na. Iba na ngayon yung mayor namin.
Ma'am, yung palimbang lang ang manisan, ma'am. Hindi kasali yung tao.
Ma'am, ako lang po maganda dito, ma'am.
Like you, ma'am. Ikaw lang yung ganda.
Maganda tayo lahat manisan. May technical problem siguro
Tama,
si
ma'am.
Weng.
Tama.
So, wait lang muna tayo sa presentation. Rowena.
Yes. Oh. Muray.
Ayusin ko muna yung technical issues ko dito ha.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, good morning everyone. While waiting for Ma'am Rowena presentation, so in my presentation as the third speaker after Ma'am Rowena, so i-remind ko na kayo unang-una para ma-ready kayo in our workshop. So, I will group you and by school. So, isang grupo ang Palimbang National High School, Mamansol Abdul National High School, and the Milbok National High School research students. So, mag-usap-usap na kayo sa Messenger. Gagawa po kayo ng 5 research topic that you want. Yung pinakagusto ninyo na research topic, so that in our workshop, after Ma'am Rowena's presentation, ready na po kayo. So, hinihintay po natin. Okay, kindly turn off your microphone first. Please, kindly turn off first your microphone so that you can hear me loud and clear. Sino pa po yung hindi ka-turn off ng microphone, please? Paki-turn off po ng microphone para marinig nyo po ako at maintindihan. Okay, thank you so much. So while waiting for the presentation of the second speaker, Ma'am Rowena Pombo, I would like to remind all the 3 schools, the Palimbang National High School, Mamansol Abdul National High School, and the Milbok National High School to please design or make 5 research topics. So mag-usap po kayo sa Messenger. What are those research topic that you want? At least 5 na research topic. Then you are going to select a facilitator in every school. So you are grouping by school. So isang grupo sa Palimbang, isa sa Mamanswal, at isa sa Milbok National High School. So that you are ready for the next workshop that I'm going to employ you after Ma'am Rowena's presentation. Thank you. Okay, ma'am, you may take the floor.
Okay, ma'am, thank you. Okay, good morning, everyone. I am audible, everyone.
Yes po, ma'am.
Yes po, ma'am. Everyone, good morning.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes po, ma'am. Mixed method research design by John Creswell.
Morning, ma'am.
Good morning sa mga dignitary in the loop.
Hindi po masyado naiintindihan, ma'am.
The different research coordinator from 3 schools, and especially the participants from senior high school who are conducting their research also. So this is my topic, the mixed methods designs. Okay. Let's begin by clarifying what mixed methods research is. So mixed methods research is a research procedure that utilizes both qualitative and quantitative method. As such, it is vital that before using a mixed method research, you have a clear understanding of the 2 methods that it's actually mixing. So kanina, sa first speaker natin, kay Ma'am City, in-explain niya yung about sa qualitative and quantitative method. Yun yung imimix natin so that we can come up with a mixed methods research. Okay, why use this method? Bakit natin ito gagamitin? Okay. So the assumptions is that by combining the 2 methods together, the research would provide a better insight, better understanding, and a picture of the problem being researched than by using simply one. So pag na-mix na natin ang quantitative and qualitative methods, magbibigay ito sa atin ng better understanding. So mas magiging malawak ang ating tatakbuhan ng ating research. Hindi lang tayo doon sa quali, hindi lang tayo doon sa quanti, yung quanti, survey, hindi lang tayo doon. We will dig deeper, no? Mag-dig deeper tayo. So it means we will conduct qualitative method also na We will ask for interviews. We will ask for focus group discussions from the respondents. So, mas lalong magiging reliable or magiging valid yung research natin. Okay. So, it is important to note that this method is more time consuming, not only because you're conducting two types of research, but it is because it's not simply collecting and analyzing two different strands of research, qualitative and quantitative. It consists of merging, connecting, building, and embedding the data together. So when we're speaking of mixed method research, understand they truly mix. So, dapat ano na kayo, dapat naka-mindset na talaga sa inyo na pag nag-conduct kayo ng mixed method research, though may kahirapan siya because it is not simply collecting and analyzing data, but you have to merge, you have to connect, you have to build, you have to embed the data together. It takes time. So, naka-mindset ka na dapat kung ito talaga ang methods mo. Pero, be sure or I'm sure na yung results ng iyong research is valid talaga siya. Parang masasabi mo na totoo talaga ang result ng aking research. Magiging talaga justifiable talaga ang result ng iyong research. So, when we're speaking of mixed method research, understand they are truly mixed, no? Mixed talaga, halo. So, hinalo yung quantitative and qualitative method. It's interesting to note as well that mixed method research is increasingly being published in scholarly literature. So, magiging yung inyong study, pag gumamit kayo ng mixed method, malaki ang chance na mapapublish ang inyong journal or ang inyong manuscript. Okay. So, when do you choose to conduct a mixed method study? So, kailan tayo pwedeng mag-conduct ng mixed method study? So, we've already discussed the benefit of using mixed method research. When using qualitative and quantitative together, produces stronger results than using them independently. No? So, magiging strong ang ating results pag both qualitative and quantitative method ang ating ginamit. So you can also use them if this process you want to build on the strengths of both methods. Specific numbers shows trends in quantitative data, and responsive real people provide qualitative research. Another way to look at it is utilizing the outcomes of the study, such as the quantitative data. So, ang outcome of the study sa quantitative data method. Alongside the process of the study, which is the qualitative data. So, together, they can paint a more thorough and complete picture. So, pag quantitative lang, outcomes of the study. But qualitative, the process. But if you will mix them together, so, the study, magiging complete. Makakapaint ka ng complete picture and thorough ang iyong magiging result. As what I have said kanina. Okay. Further, when one type of research isn't enough, mixed methods research allows the researcher to elaborate or extend on their findings. Okay. So mixed method research could be used to provide alternative perspectives to a study. So some examples of this include when someone asks for the numbers and the stories. You can utilize qualitative data when you want to provide further understanding on how the experimental intervention actually worked. So in order to provide insight behind the outcomes of your qualitative data, no? So magiging kung sa ano pa, kung sa tao pa magiging malakas ang iyong power kapag ang method na ginamit mo sa research mo ay mixed method or MMR. Okay? So next is the development of mixed methods research. So some of the earliest research using mixed method research was done by Campbell and Fisk in their 1959 study. Convergent indiscriminate validation of the multi-trait, multi-method matrix. So they developed the MTMM, the multi-trait, multi-method matrix, in order to compare multiple variables by testing them in multiple methods and analyzing how the variables are related. So, nag-come up sila sa MTMM, nag-develop sila ng si Campbell at saka si Fisk, nag-develop sila ng MTMM or multi-trait, multi-method matrix para ma-compare nila ang mga multiple variables. Tapos, syempre, pag multiple ang variables, ma-compare mo, mas maganda talaga ang magiging result, no? Tapos, ma-test din ang mga multiple methods and ma-analyze kung paano nagiging related ang mga variables. Okay? So next, the chart picture is from Campbell and Fisk 1959 study. So ito yung chart. So sa nakikita ninyo, yan yung chart na galing kay Campbell and kay Fisk. So the variables in this case, the personality traits were compared against 3 different collections of data. Self-rating, staff ratings, and teammate rating. So nakita nyo dyan, ito itong tatlo. Ito, 1, 2, 3. No? Okay. So the result from this collection of data were then compared to one another in the matrix format in order to find similarities. Though Campbell and Fisk pioneered this method, they were still only using quantitative data. So quantitative data pa yung ginagamit nila. Soon after, researchers were looking for ways to integrate qualitative data into their study. Sieber then suggested the combination of case studies with surveys. So, noong 1973, nagsuggest na si Sieber na pwede nang i-combine ang pag-gather ng collection ng data with surveys, integrating quantitative and qualitative data. Then, as a way to supplement the quantitative data with qualitative data. In 1979, Jick conducted a survey to understand the effects of a business merger would have on its employees. So he stated that in previous studies, stress was measured in multiple ways such as observation, individual interview of the others who interacted with the individual, or physical examination. So each method has its pros and cons. So why not use all methods to determine the strengths of each? No? So this process is known as triangulation. Ito yung i-introduce ni Jick, yung triangulation. So to understand triangulation, picture a triangle with 2 sources of data as 2 of the points and the phenomenon as the third. Okay, so yan ang triangulation. Bali, triangle siya. Okay, with triangulation, researchers can balance the weaknesses of one method of data collection with the strengths of the other. So, sa triangulation, mababalance ang weaknesses ng method sa data collection with the strengths sa isa. Okay? So next. So after JIC study was published, questions arose as to whether it made sense to combine quantitative and qualitative data. So nag-debate ang mga researchers, merong mga debate pa na pinagdaanan ang mga researchers para mapatunayan na mixing qualitative and quantitative method is the best method. So according to many researchers, each type of data collection has its own worldview, meaning that each type of data draws on different assumptions. Okay. Quantitative research focuses on the numbers and objective collection of information. So quantitative, pag sinabi natin quantitative, quantity. So, pag sinabi natin quantity, mga numbers, no, mga objectives collection. So, ito yung, ang sample dito, yung mga surveys na ginagamit natin kapag nag-collect tayo ng data. Surveys, ka na mag-answer sila. No? Then, while qualitative research relies on bias and the viewpoint of the researcher. Qualitative naman is yung open-ended question. So, yung ito yung dito may interview na tayo na magdaan pa siya sa transcription pag ginamit ang language, no? So maraming pagdaanan or focus group discussions in etc. So researchers questioned how these two data sets could truly work together. So nag-question sila paano ba talaga mag-work together ang dalawang data sets, the qualitative and quantitative. Proponents of mixed method research suggested that there's a two-stage method so that data could be collected separately as opposed to simultaneously. Soon after, other ideas and methods for integrating qualitative and quantitative were shared and multiple research designs developed. So after sa napakahabang panahon na pagdidebate ng mga researchers, then, multiple research designs developed. So, na-develop na talaga yung multiple research design. These debates and sharings of ideas occurred throughout the 1980s and 1990s. Today, there are 6 major methods of mixed method design researchers. So sa haba-haba ng panahon na pagdidebate ng mga researchers, naka-develop talaga sila ng mixed methods research. Hindi lang isa, but naging 6 pa talaga, no? 6 talaga ang na-develop nila as of now. Okay. So now Chris will suggest mixed method research. Okay. Mixed method research is in a reflective period which is lasted for about 5 to 7 years with 3 major themes. So current assessment or mapping of field, emergence of constructive criticisms and reassessments that have challenged the nature of mixed methods research and expansion to many disciplines and countries in the world. So as the mixed methods designs expand to outside of education in other countries, more challenges have arisen and discussion continue around best practices. So sa pag-expand ng MMR or mixed method research, sa pag-expand niya outside education and other countries, dumami din ang mga challenges, no? Dumami din ang mga challenges at patuloy pa rin sila nagdi-discuss kung ano pa yung mga best practices. Okay? So, that's the development of mixed method research. Okay, next is identifying a mixed methods design. Okay, dito na tayo. Tapos na tayo sa how to conduct or kailan natin kailangang i-conduct ang ating mixed method design. So dito naman tayo sa identifying a mixed method design. So before diving into the individual types of mixed method designs, how can we determine if any of the designs have been used in the study? So if you're looking at a study and want to identify if a mixed method design had been used, so here are a few key questions to ask. So first is, as if there is evidence available in the title of the study. So the presence of both the words quantitative and the word qualitative in the study may be an indicator. So malalaman mo na mixed method ang design niya pag sa title pa lang nakita mo na or nabasa mo na yung quantitative or qualitative na word. Na? Pag nakita mo doon, pag nabasa mo doon yung qualitative and quantitative na word, it means the design of that research is mixed method. But terms such as integrated, triangulated, or combined are also easy ways to identify. So not only quantitative or qualitative word, also the integrated word, the triangulated word, or combined word are also indication that the study is or that the research is a mixed method design. Okay. So the second question is to ask if evidence is available in the data collection section. So pag nandyan ang data collection, makita ang evidence ng qualitative and quantitative doon sa data collection section, then you can say that that research is a mixed method design. In a mixed method study, both qualitative and quantitative data are used to understand a research problem. If processes are outlined for a collection of both quantitative and qualitative, then the study is using mixed method design. So madali lang po siyang i-identify if that research is a mixed method. Basta doon sa title, may qualitative, quantitative, integrated, triangulated, basta ganyan na mga combined, na mga words. Pagdating doon sa collection section, nandoon din yung evidence na nag-undergo siya ng pag-collect ng data as qualitative and quantitative, then that research is a mixed method design. Next, the reader can ask if there's any evidence, the purpose statement of research questions. So, pwedeng itanong, does the researcher indicate an intent to collect both quantitative and qualitative? So, pwede kang magtanong yan. Then, to determine if which individual type of mixed method design is being used, there is a second set of questions to ask. So, ito yung first na pinakita ko, yun yung first na mga ways para ma-identify mo kung ang research is mixed method. Second is, meron pang isa. Ito yung next, determine. Okay. The reader can ask if there's evidence. Okay, next, to determine if which individual type of mixed method design is being used, there is a second set of questions to ask. What is the intent of the study? So ito, what is the intent of the study? Is the researcher looking to compare data, validate one with the other, or gain more complete understanding of a problem? If so, the design is likely convergent. No? Okay, so mamaya itatackle ko yung different types of mixed method research design. So is the researcher looking to have one set of data explained over the other or build off the data for new information? If this is true, so it is more or most likely an exploratory or explanatory sequential design. Okay? Another intent may be to embed a set of data in a larger theory or experiment, which means it is one of the advanced designs which will all be further explained. So, yan yung mga paraan para ma-identify natin if the research is a mixed method design. Okay. So mixed method designs are broken down into two categories. So basic designs, that includes the convergent design. Ay, nawala. Okay. The exploratory sequential design and the exploratory sequential design. Next is the advanced designs. That includes the experimental design, the social justice design, and the multi-stage evaluation design. So, meron tayong 6 na different types of methods, research methods design. So, pero ang 6 na yun, nahati yun sa 3. Okay, you can take down note para ma-remember nyo yung 6 na types of mixed method designs. So the first group is the basic design. So under the basic design is the convergent design. May convergent yan yung una-una kanina. Ang ikalawa is the explanatory sequential design at yung ikatatlo is the exploratory sequential design. Another group is the advanced design. Sa advanced design, nandyan yung tatlo din, the experimental design, the social justice design, and the multi-stage evaluation design. Okay, so according to Creswell, basic designs are considered to be at the heart of mixed method design. So once a basic design is encased into a larger theory experiment or social justice orientation, it becomes an advanced design. No? So, pag itong basic design na ito, itong convergent, explanatory, exploratory, ma-encase siya into a larger theory experiment or social justice orientation, magiging advanced na siya. Okay? So, next, what are the 6 types of mixed methods design? So, ito na broken down ko na yun kanina. So, ito na yung explanation ng bawat isang mixed method design. So, first is the convergent design. The purpose of the convergent design is to simultaneously collect both qualitative and quantitative data. Okay, qualitative and quantitative data, and merge the data sets and then explain any discrepancies between the two. Okay. The idea here is that by collecting both, the weaknesses of each will be offset by the strengths of the other. So sa convergent design, you will collect quantitative and qualitative data simultaneously. So sabay-sabay, nag-conduct ka ng quantitative at the same time nag-conduct ka ng qualitative para ma-compare mo yung result and ma-analyze mo yung discrepancy. So sabay ito, sa convergent design, sabay ang pag-conduct ng quali and quanti data. In short, the quantitative data, also known as closed-ended data, and the qualitative data or open-ended data can be used to check one another. No? So, pag naglabas na ang result mo sa qualitative data or sa quantitative data, vis-a-vis, alinman sa kanilang dalawa, ma-compare mo kaagad kung ano yung magiging result. No? So, comparison between the two methods, yung result nila. Okay? So, when we say quantitative, this is a close-ended question. Wala kang ibang isagot dito, kundi yung agree, strongly agree, strongly disagree, yung ganyan. Pili ka lang, may pilianan, no, sa quantitative. But sa qualitative data, open-ended, pwede kang maglabas ng iyong opinion dito or sarili mong sagot, no, kung ano yung depende sa tanong. Okay? For example, collecting statistics from a large group may help to offset the interviews that you only conducted with a few people. Likewise, observing people for a long period of time offers a much greater detail for a study than simply studying them with a survey alone. So these two are used to offset, complement, and further explain one another. Kasi sa kasi sa qualitative hindi mo man pwede na lahat ng respondent mo doon sa quantitative i-interview mo lahat, 'di ba? So halimbawa doon sa quantitative meron kang 100 na respondent. So hindi man 'yun pwede na sa qualitative i-interview mo 'yun sila lahat. You have to randomly select or magkuha ka ng ibang respondents mo para doon sa qualitative data mo. So pag ganyan, ma-justify ngayon ng qualitative yung quantitative, ma-justify ng quantitative yung qualitative results na iyong i-conduct. Okay? So, within a convergent study, the researcher collects both qualitative and quantitative data separately and simultaneously, and then analyze them separately. So sabay itong i-conduct ang qualitative data, qualitative collection and quantitative data collection, sabay itong i-conduct, then separately analyze the results of the two. Okay? So from there, the researcher will be able to compare the two data sets and draw conclusions about how to support one another or how they diverge. Okay? So this form, a study supplies equal priority to both quantitative and qualitative and uses each the same degree. So equal ang priority na binigay mo sa qualitative and quantitative. No? Okay. So a strength of this is that it combines the best attributes of qualitative and quantitative. So ang strength dito sa convergent design, gi-combine mo yung best attributes ng qualitative data results mo at quantitative data results mo. Okay? So, maliban sa strength, meron din itong weakness and difficulty. The difficulty with this specific design is that it's sometimes difficult to merge the two and explain how the findings are without further study. So, meron pa rin siyang challenges, no? Mahirap siyang i-determine. Mahirap ang i-determine or mahirap siyang i-merge, no? Kung paano siya i-explain. Okay? So, that's all for convergent design. Next is number 2, the explanatory sequential design. So the explanatory sequential design, also referred to commonly as the two-phase model. It is the most popular design in educational research. So ito yung pinakasikat. The first step is to collect quantitative data, followed by the collection of qualitative data, which helps to elaborate on quantitative results. So, hindi sabay ang pag-collect ng data sa quantitative and qualitative. But, collect mo pa rin yung, dalawa pa rin yung method na ginamit, quantitative and qualitative. Pero kanina, doon sa convergent, sabay siya gi-conduct. Pero dito sa explanatory sequential, hindi siya sabay. Mauuna ang quantitative. That means, mag-survey ka muna. After ng survey mo, pag maglabas na ang result mo, saka ka na mag-collect ng iyong qualitative data. Bali yung result naman ng qualitative mo, yun ang magiging mag-i-elaborate doon sa quantitative result mo na una mong kinandak. So therefore, the priority is placed on the collection and analysis of quantitative data with the qualitative data playing a supportive role. So bali dito sa explanatory sequential design, yung magiging core mo dito na method is the quantitative, and the qualitative will support the quantitative data mo, no? Siya yung parang mag-verify na ang result doon sa quantitative data mo is i-verify ngayon ng qualitative data mo. Okay? So, they're not related to education. May example ako dito. Okay. So, the research example study, an impact of chronic pain and family resistance perfectly highlights the order in which the exponent explanatory sequential design takes place. So the first step hindi ito related sa education, but it is an example of explanatory sequential design. So the first step in this study was to distribute and collect surveys from family members of those with chronic pain. So, di ba, sabi ko kanina, kakandak mo muna first ang quantitative. So, ito sa example dito, ang ginawa niya first, nag-gather siya ng information through survey sa family members. No? Family members used responses that could be easily quantified and sorted, such as I agree, I disagree, slightly agree, or slightly disagree. Yung parang meron siyang checklist. No, magpili ka lang doon kung saan ang piliin mo, kung disagree ka ba, agree ka ba. So yun yung survey, yun yung quantitative. Sample yan ng quantitative. Then afterwards, the same individuals were asked a series of interview questions. So ito, okay lang ito sa kanya kasi maliit lang man ang kanyang respondents kasi family members lang man. So nag-choose lang siguro siya ng isang family. So, pwede niyang gamitin yung kanyang respondent doon sa quantitative data niya, doon sa survey niya, pwede niya rin gamitin doon sa qualitative survey niya, na our qualitative data gathering niya. Okay? So, the same individuals were asked a series of interview questions to elaborate on their own personal experiences. So, these interviews were used to explain and support the quantitative data collected from the surveys in order to draw conclusions. So after that, pag na-gather na yung quantitative data, then qualitative data, i-justify ng qualitative data ang quantitative data result, then makadraw na tayo ngayon ng conclusion. So that is the explanatory sequential design. So the third is the exploratory sequential design. So tandaan nyo yung pagkakaiba ha, though pareho pa rin sila na gumamit ng quantitative and qualitative methods, pero meron lang silang differences sa pagkandak. Yun lang ang pagkaibahan nila, no? So exploratory sequential design is similar to the explanatory sequential design, which is also a two-phase model. Instead of collecting quantitative data first, however, the researcher begins with qualitative data collection. Ito, opposite ito ng explanatory. Ang exploratory naman, dalawa pa rin, qualitative and quantitative. Pero dito sa exploratory, mauunang ikandak ni researcher ang qualitative. So, it means mag-interview muna siya. Unlike kanina doon sa explanatory, nauna yung quantitative. Nag-survey muna siya. Bago siya nag-interview. Dito sa exploratory, mag-interview muna siya bago siya mag-survey. Okay? So, this allows the researcher to connect interviews and or observations and fully understand the problem before developing the parameters for the quantitative data collection. Okay? So, look at the exploratory design. Okay, ito yung exploratory design natin. So, una, qualitative data collection and analysis. Pagkatapos ng makolekt, patapos ng interview, naka-interview na siya, naka-focus group discussion na siya, doon siya ngayon kukuha ng mga questions para sa kanyang quantitative data collections, doon sa kanyang survey. Doon siya halimbawa magkuha lang siya ng lima lang ang kanyang five respondents lang para doon sa interview niya, or 10 ba, butang ta. Then after that, or sa focus group discussion niya, after that, pag nakagather na siya ng mga ideas doon sa kanyang interviews, gagawa na siya ngayon ng mga questions para sa kanyang survey questionnaire na ipamimigay naman niya sa mga respondents niya sa kanyang quantitative data. Okay. No? So the intent of the research is open to explore phenomenon or a theme or to design an instrument to be tested. The qualitative data is often collected from small number of individuals to give the researcher a sense of the problem followed by quantitative data collection such as a survey for a larger group of individuals. So, yun nga sinabi ko kanina, pwede lang muna siyang 5 lang muna ang interview niya. Pagkatapos na maka-interview, makagather siya ng idea, makagather siya ng mga inputs galing doon sa interview na ng mga respondents, gagawa na siya ngayon ng mga questions niya para doon sa survey, para doon sa larger group naman niya na respondents. No, ipamimigay niya na yung kanyang survey questionnaire. So, that's for exploratory sequential design. So, nauna ang qualitative bago ang quantitative. Sa explanatory, nauna ang quantitative bago ang qualitative. Sa convergent, sabay si quantitative and qualitative. No? Next, we'll go to the experimental design. So, experimental design, okay. In an experimental design, the researcher adds qualitative data to an experiment at its inception, in the middle, or at the conclusion of the study. Okay, so this data is meant to provide further information on things like the participants' experience alongside the data collected within the study itself. Okay? Within the experimental design, both forms of data are collected concurrently and subsequentially. So the basic design of the study may be convergent, explanatory, or exploratory, or any combination thereof. So sa experimental, pwede siyang convergent, pwede siyang convergent with explanatory, convergent, pwede siya explanatory, pwede siya exploratory, pwede siyang explanatory or exploratory, pwede siyang combine, no? Okay. So the key here lies in how the second form of data is collected and why it is collected. So in experimental design, so ito yung kanyang picture or graph niya. The additional form of study is used to provide additional explanation or information that was perhaps not provided or made clear in the initial form of data collection. So the secondary form of collection used is to address a different question that was originally addressed. So this one of study gives priority to the original form of study, which is usually quantitative, and then supplements the findings with the supporting form of research, which is usually qualitative in nature. So this form of study combines advantages, both qualitative and quantitative studies. Also, the experimental design allows the researcher to collect qualitative data while emphasizing the quantitative data or approach in its entirely. So it's challenging to make sure the difficulty of this kind of study is that that you are clear about the intent of the secondary form of study, and because the data are addressing different questions, it can be difficult to compare the results. So moreover, it can be suggested that introducing a qualitative data collection in the middle of the study could actually influence the result of your quantitative data. So bali ang sa experimental design, ang qualitative data in the middle of your study pa siya ginakandak. Na? In the middle of your study pa siya ginakandak. Okay? So that is for the experimental design. Okay, next, number 5 is the social justice design. So the purpose of the social justice design is to create change within the society and seek to address injustices that exist within the society. No? So yan ang purpose ng social justice design. The social justice design is also used and it's also used and called transformative design because the purpose is to transform society. So, ang purpose ng social justice design is i-transform ang society. So it is research that is conducted in order to bring about positive social change. So the studies often end with calls for reforming society. So reformation yun siya sa society, pagbago ng ating or pagbago ng ating society. Social justice design conducts either a convergent, exploratory, or explanatory study in order to address a social justice concern. Same as kanina sa experimental, no? Pwede siya convergent, exploratory, or explanatory. Okay? So, the research uses a framework such as a feminist perspective for a racial perspective. So, in order to shape the aspects of the study, through the lens of that social issue at the conclusion of the study. So the researcher will call for a form of action for the group that was studied. An example of the study would be using your young Native American women and their perception of STEM programs. So this study would illustrate not only what it's like to be a woman as it's related to STEM, the researcher, or but also to be a minority Native American as it relates to STEM. So the researcher could conduct a survey to quantitatively understand initial attitudes towards STEM, followed by a qualitative focus group to assess overall feelings towards STEM as well as previous experiences. So quantitatively first, then qualitative uh, focus group. The researchers could conclude the study with a call to action in order to make in order to make nalagi nag-present.
Tot lang siguro, ma'am. Continue po.
Okay. So, padayon ta ha. So, the researchers could conduct a survey to quantitatively understand initial attitudes towards STEM, followed by a quantitative focus group to assess overall feelings towards STEM as well as previous experiences. So, the researchers could conclude the study with a call to action in order to make STEM programs more attractive and more accessible to this underserved population. So, strength of this social justice design is that it's very value-based and it's very ideological. No? Ang weakness naman nito is that researchers are still learning how to use this form of design as mixed methods study. So, parang hindi pa siya masyadong ginagamit. That is why kailangan pa ng researcher na go deeper kung paano gamitin ang mixed methods design na social justice design. Okay? So the last is the multi-stage evaluation design. So multi-stage evaluation design, this design is utilized when the impact of a problem or project is sought out. So this design builds on the basic of the previous designs and adds to them through multiple stages of projects that are conducted over time. So within this design, there are four distinct stages. So the first stage is the need. The first stage is the needs assessment. Second stage is the development of theory or conceptualization. The third is the design of an instrument, and lastly is the testing of the program. So with any design, there are unique challenges. So ito yung mga challenges. So sa multi-stage evaluation design, meron siyang tatlong stages. The needs assessment. Then after that, development of theory or conceptualization. Next, design of an instrument. Then test of a program. No? So, sa lahat daw ng design, meron talagang mga challenges. So, ang challenges naman ng multi-stage evaluation designs are okay. First is finding a research team. No? So, for this type of design, you require a team who can work together comfortably even though there is a diverse method of orientations. Next is member of this team must be able to clearly identify stages that help address a larger problem objective. So ensuring that the help address a larger problem objective, or ensuring that that each stage provides insight. Next, the researchers need large-scale research experience. So, dapat talaga, no, malawak talaga ang experience mo kapag gusto mong, ito yung design na gusto mo. Okay? So, the researchers need large-scale research experience. The last challenge is to be able to ensure that all stages link together. No? So, dapat lahat ng stages, yung needs assessment, development of theory or conceptualization, design of an instrument, test of program, dapat nakalink talaga yan sila. No? So, medyo itong multi-stage evaluation, mahirap ito siya. Okay? The stages must be interrelated as they build on each other throughout the study. Okay? So, those are the 5 or the 6 types of research design. So, key characteristics of mixed methods designs. So, let's set them apart from others. Okay, number 1, collect and analyze qualitative and quantitative data. So, in mixed methods studies, mixed method data or mixed method studies, there are multiple forms of research conducted. So, this allows the researcher to collect data typically associated with numeric values as well that is typically associated with text and images. So, Creswell notes that quantitative data researchers are in the background and their own personal biases and interpretations are seldom discussed. So, qualitative researchers make up for his weakness. So, on the other hand, qualitative research is seen as deficient because of the personal interpretation made by the researcher. So, the combination of both approaches can offset the weaknesses of the other but rather than use by itself. So, kailangan talaga natin gamitin ang qualitative and quantitative both talaga. Kasi pag qualitative lang, walang maka-offset ng kanyang weaknesses to strength. No? Walang maka-offset ng kanyang weaknesses into strength. Same as quantitative. Kung quantitative lang, wala ding maka-offset ng kanyang weaknesses into strength. Unlike kung dalawa sila, kung meron mang weaknesses ang qualitative, pwede may offset ng quantitative. Kung meron mang weaknesses ang quantitative, ma-offset ng qualitative. So, mas maganda talaga pag dalawa. Okay? So, number 2, use rigorous data. Those studies combine multiple forms of research. So each are done well with depth, both qualitative and quantitative data methodologies should incorporate sampling, recruitment, varying forms as a collection analysis, and implementation with stakeholders. So marami, hindi lang isa. Unlike sa qualitative, mag-interview ka lang. Focus group discussion ka lang. Unlike sa kung quantitative lang, mag-survey ka lang. So, yun lang. Dito, kung naka-mix method ka, pwede kang mag-incorporate ng sampling mo. May recruitment, varying forms of collection analysis and implementation of stakeholders. Okay? Number 3, integration. So, mixed method research allows the researcher to combine and integrate the data collected.
Ma'am, wala po sa ano po. Excuse me po, ma'am.
Yes po. Number 3, mixed method research allows the researcher to combine and integrate the data collected from both forms of collection. So, integration, no? Makombine mo yung...
Excuse po, ma'am. Permission to speak po.
Yes po, yes. Acknowledge po.
Medyo choppy po kayo, ma'am.
Hindi po.
Ay,
Choppy po,
baka dyan,
ma'am. Hindi masyadong
baka
maintindihan.
sapi ba sa iba or baka dyan lang sa iyo langging?
You're
Hindi
audible
naman
po
po
dito sa amin,
masyadong
ma'am.
dito, ma'am.
Dito medyo, ma'am. Medyo.
Oo, ma'am. Oo,
Sa
ma'am.
network po yan, sa network.
Dito, ma'am. Dito.
Baka dyan lang sa end mo langging.
Okay man
Baka
dito,
dyan lang sa
ma'am.
end mo ang sapi kasi sa iba okay man yung ano natin, airing natin. Okay lang? Proceed na ako.
Yes,
Opo,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Opo, thank
Okay
you po,
Okay.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Proceed.
Okay. So, don't you worry. Our slide will be shared to you.
The role of marketing.
Okay, so number 3 na tayo ha. So these occur through merging the data such as displaying information on the table, connecting the data such as in the explanatory design previously discussed.
Po, ma'am.
Okay, the data can build on one another such as in the exploratory design where the data may be embedded with one another. Data set as scene in an experimental design. So, ang karakteristik niya, ma-integrate mo ang mga data. Pwede mong paghalu-haluin or pwede mong makombine si qualitative and quantitative. No? So, ito yung kanyang characteristics. Next, number 4. Okay. Use a specific mix. Number 4, use a specific mix design. The researcher has several methodologies to choose from, and by using one of the many mixed method designs, the researcher is able to select methodology most form fit to the research needs. So, pwede kang pumili kung anong specific mixed method design mo doon sa 6 na na-present ko kanina. No? Pwede kang pumili doon kahit isa lang. Kasi kung ang pinili mo convergent, meron na doong qualitative and quantitative. Kung piliin mo din yung exploratory, meron ding quantitative and qualitative. Kung piliin mo din yung iba pa, meron doong qualitative and quantitative. Ang difference lang doon ay ang pag-conduct ng iyong study. No? Okay? So, number 5, frame the study with philosophy or theory. Okay? Using theory is a very popular in mixed methods research. So researchers can use social justice theories as part of the research or as the lens that they conduct the research. No? So there are also other contributing characteristics. Maliban dyan sa 5, meron pa tayong 2 contributing characteristics. Okay, to be used priority indicates the research place more emphasis on one type of research over another. So this could be because one is preferred by the researcher, or that there is a need to understand one before analyzing the other. So this is also referred to as emphasis of approaches. So sequence. So consider priority and sequence. So sequence is used to concurrent or at the same time sequential one after the other or some combination of the 2. So sequence is all may be altered in order to further define the results, such as in sequential order to give varying forms of data at the same time, such as in concurrent. No? So in order to compare them at the conclusion of the study. So this has also been called temporal orientation or visualization or diagram and procedures. So providing a diagram or visualization of the design, such as diagrams within the presentations, allow the audience to understand what design is used. So what type of research is conducted and what sequence they are conducted in. Okay? So we have here the potential ethical issues. So ano yung mga issues in conducting mixed method designs or mixed method research? So, ethical issues in a mixed method research, because it compasses both qualitative and quantitative forms of research, has ethical issues as associated with each of these methodologies. So, meron silang mga ethical issues, no? Kasi nga, i-combine ang qualitative and quantitative. So, both designs or lahat ng designs, meron silang mga issues, no? Okay, for instance, according to Creswell, qualitative is questioned ethically on the grounds of respecting vulnerable population and asking the identities of participants. Qualitative is questioned in the grounds of not disrupting the sites and clearly articulating the purpose of the study, because mixed method research incorporates both. Each mixed method design will also have its own ethical issues to consider while conducting research. So in Convergent, ang kanyang ethical issues is the size of the qualitative and quantitative data. Sets may be different. So magkaiba. However, smaller sample sizes cannot be minimized as a result. So ito yung issue sa ethical issue sa convergent design, kasi magkaiba talaga ang sample size. Di man pwede na kung 100 ang binigyan mo ng survey, 100 din ang i-interview mo, hindi man yun pwede, no? Okay. Next, sa explanatory design, ang kanyang ethical issues, explanatory design, by linking the qualitative data to the previously collected quantitative data, there must be a clear link between the two. So further, some participants may not want their data released, and using names without permission is certainly an ethical issues, no? So kasi meron kang respondent na nag-answer doon sa quantitative, but hindi niya gustong ano yung name niya. So pag hindi ka nag-ask permission, so isa yung ethical issues. Okay? Next is in the experimental design. By creating a control group and an experimental group where only one group receives beneficial treatment can constitute an ethical issue. Moreover, collecting qualitative information from the middle of the quantitative study may influence the overall result. So kasi pag magkanta ka ng experimental design, meron dalawang group yan, the control group and the experimental group, no? So isa lang ang makaka-benefit diyan sa study mo, kasi nga tingnan mo man kung saan ang may effect o wala. So yun ang kanyang ethical, no? Yun ang kanyang ethical issues doon sa experimental. Okay? Next is social justice. It is necessary to consider the group being studied may be further marginalized by the study itself. Okay? So yun ang kanyang may further marginalize. Okay? Next, sa multi-stage design, ethical issues arise when the needs of the participants are overlooked because of the existing literature surrounding topic, no? So makaligtaan ang needs ng participants kay meron kasing tinitingnan na mga literature, okay? So also, when a new stage is developed, it does not build on the stages prior. Remember, participants must give permission for every stage of a research project. So sequence or method research in the mixed method form of research. Okay, so those are the ethical issues. So kanina na-discuss na ito ng first speaker natin, the steps in conducting a mixed method study. So proceed na lang po ako sa next, kasi na ano naman niya ito, na discuss niya na kanina. Okay? So move na lang tayo sa next na topic. Ito yung how do you evaluate a mixed method study? So meron akong table dito on how to evaluate a mixed study. So here are the characteristics to look for when determining a mixed method study is of higher or lower quality. This form of rubric-like design could even be used to check your own research to ensure that the research is of the highest caliber. So for example, magbigay lang ako ng isa ha dito sa table. So the key elements, ito yung criteria natin kung paano natin ma-evaluate kung ang iyong research ba ay high caliber or low quality ba siya or high quality ba siya. For example, the mixed methods researcher uses the words mixed method in the study. So, pag nagamit siya ng mixed method in the study, halimbawa, nakita mo yung research study niya, meron doong mixed method na word. So, titingnan mo ngayon, high quality siya pag the researcher uses the words mixed method in the title or purpose statement to the study. Pag yung mixed method, ginamit niya or nilagay niya mismo sa title or the purpose statement of the study, that is a high quality research. But if the researcher refers to the study as a quantitative or qualitative study or survey and focus groups and does not use the words mixed methods, lower ang quality niya. No, kahit pa nagamit siya ng mixed method or mixed method ang kanyang design, but di niya ginamit ang word na mixed method, ang kanyang quality ay lower. Okay? So, next, the mixed method study contains both quantitative and qualitative data. So, in the methods, high quality siya kung in the method section of the study, the researcher conveys details about the data collection and analysis of both quantitative and qualitative data. Kung ang researcher doon sa method section, nagbigay talaga siya ng details kung paano ang pamaraan sa pag-collect niya ng data at sa pag-analyze ng both quantitative and qualitative data, then that research is a high quality research. But if the researcher does not detail the quantitative and qualitative data collection procedure and thus they are difficult to determine, such as the sampling, the forms of data collection, and other elements, that research has lower quality. Okay? So, ito ang iba, the mixed method report displays an integration of the quantitative and qualitative data. So, nandito yung criteria niya. Pag na-mention the specific ways in which the two forms of data will be integrated, such as merging the data, building from one database to another, explaining the data, or embedding the data, that research is a high quality research. So ito yung basihan natin pag high quality siya, and ito naman dito sa kabila pag low quality. Okay? So okay, that ends my discussion. Thank you for listening, and I hope that you have learned something about mixed methods research design.
Sawadika. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
ma'am.
Thank you po. Naintindihan po
ma'am.
namin talaga.
Sawadik.
11-11. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you po.
It was a very informative presentation.
Bye, ma'am.
There's lang po sa ating mga
Mawisnida.
Run out po dito.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome po.
11-11. Thank you, ma'am. Reminders din po sa ating mga guys. We see you to the certificate. And now the speakers. Ngayon naman, let's try to apply the knowledge that we have gained. For our next topic is the writing of mixed method research design. But before that, let's hear about our resource speaker through this video. Let us all watch it.
Hi, hello everyone. This video that I like to share is my short yet simple bio note that tells about myself, my family, educational qualification, and job experiences. This is in compliance with EDOC 300A under Doc Hinaro v. Hapos, hoping and praying that you will be encouraged. Merlani Silvinian feel honored and humbled in presenting her bio note. She is presently residing in a far-flung area, somewhere in Barangay Malisbong, Palimbang, Sultan Kudarat, where there is only limited internet connection but still sacrificing just to continue her study. And she is committed to provide her family with a loving and developmentally sound foundation for a lifetime of learning with her one kid and one and only husband. She finished her elementary grade at Malisbong Elementary School and high school at Mamanswal Abdul National High School, where she is presently employed as secondary school teacher 3. She earned her undergraduate studies at University of Mindanao, that was year 2001, with a degree of Bachelor of Science in Secondary Education, major in General Science. And luckily, by God's grace, she passed the licensure examination for teachers in the next following year. So much with her desire and personal decision, she took her master's degree at Mindanao State University, General Santos City, School of Graduate Studies as Master of Arts in Education, major in School Administration, and that was school year 2015 with the thesis entitled Teachers' Instructional Competence as Influenced by School-Based Management Practices of School Heads. After a long years, she enrolled in PhD program, major in Educational Management, because she believed that learning is a continuous process, not only for professional growth and development, but she wants to be more competent in her choosing career. A series of discontentment and perseverance, she continued her study as it was her first year in this program, and as a result of being ambitious, but don't you know what triggered her most in her several capacities as she is performing administrative and supervision, as she is designated as the SMEPA coordinator, School Monitoring Evaluation Plan and Adjustment, and once chosen as the MEPA Division Monitoring Evaluation Plan and Adjustment virtual presenter in different municipalities of the province of Sultan Kudarat. And at the same time, she was the LIS coordinator of the school, where she find the most crucial task in the school, holding all the learners' information precise and correct as a system administrator of all the advisors in enrolling their learners in the LIS. And she is also HRD, Human Resource Coordinator, at the same time the school records in charge, as she knows that school records serve as the brain of the school. Before that designation, she is 10 years as a school grade 10 advisor. After performing several capacities, she is happy and feel important in the Department of Education. Although she is busy with her life as a full-time mom and a wife, and at the same time a breadwinner, both the family of her and his husband. With that, she is inspired and feel very fortunate to work alongside dedicated and warm-hearted co-teachers. Presently, she encounters a lot of issues and challenges, especially in this pandemic time, that everybody is under adjustment. But still, she remains strong and with courage, and with her burning desire to educate learners in a modular print platform, much more focused with the least fortunate learners in Palimbang. Honestly, she needs more knowledge about research, as she too much expected in this class with the help of Doc Hinaro as a brilliant, knowledgeable, and technology advanced professor. That's all she say, that she expressed herself almost exclusively through good relationship of her colleagues inside and outside of her workplace, not only to her colleagues but most especially to all internal and external stakeholders. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe so that you will be notified in my next video.
To discuss writing mixed methods research designs, let's give it up to one and only Ma'am Merlanice Ubungin Maed.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Amria, the program host of this webinar, for introducing, as I am the last speaker for today webinar. Actually, it is not the writing of the mixed methods, but I am actually discussing about or uh, employing the search engine in Google Scholar as help to all research students. So let me share first my screen. Okay, nakikita nyo na ba yung screen ko?
Yes, ma'am. Kalit ko, te.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I am the last reporter for today with the workshop with the search engine in the Google Scholar. So as what I have said a while ago, before the first reporter, that I remind you already in the chat box to have a group, or I will group you by school. One group for the Panimbang High School, one group for the Mamansol Abdul National High School, and one group for the Milbok National High School. Okay, so before we're going to have our workshop, let me recap, or a basic recap for the topic that we have discussed for the first and the second reporter in our group in discussing the emergent methodology, a mixed method design. So in this topic, as a basic recap, when we see mixed method, we are studying or combining the qualitative and the quantitative methods to answer research question. And the mixed methods is from the pragmatic standpoint of John Dewey, wherein in this research method is based on practical application of the theories, concepts, and principles of research. That is why in mixed methods, we have the qualitative and the quantitative. When we say qualitative, it is referred to as the process of collecting as well as analyzing non-numerical data. So, it is non-numerical. But when we say quantitative, we are collecting data or analyzing by numerical data. So, yung pagkakaiba lang yung ng dalawa, ang qualitative is non-numerical. So, hindi po numero. But in quantitative, we are talking about numerical data. Okay, yan po yung basic idea. And then, with the three basic methods, as Ma'am Rowena said a while ago, we have the convergent, explanatory, and the exploratory. So when we say the convergent parallel, so we will collecting data from quantitative, then next is the result of the quantitative, then followed by the qualitative data. So it involves simultaneous collection of quantitative and the qualitative data. And then next is the explanatory. So in explanatory sequential design, we will collecting data first by quantitative and the result followed by the qualitative data. So the quantitative data collection and analysis is followed by qualitative data collection. That will substantiate the result of the initial quantitative data. And the last one is the exploratory. Exploratory, so we are collecting data from first qualitative, then followed by the quantitative data analysis. And of course, these three methods, we can actually choose who among them will use in a particular research that we want. So, yan na yung explanatory, exploratory, and the convergent. So, next is we have also how we're going to conduct first. Of course, any research that we want to explore or to conduct, first is we are going to identify the problem. So, i-identify muna natin yung problem just like following the scientific method that before we're going to solve a certain problem or a research problem, of course, we will identify first the problem. After that, we will build your hypothesis. So when we say hypothesis, we are talking about the tentative answer to a particular question that you're going to have a research or you're going to or want to have a answer with that problem. And then after that, formulating the hypothesis, you're going to choose your method of research. Just what Ma'am Rowena, the second speaker a while ago, that you can actually choose which methods that you want to employ in a certain topic that you are engaged to. And then next is you have to conduct the research. That's why, as according to Albert Einstein, that play is the highest form of research. That's why if you want to conduct a research, you have to indulge yourself more time, more effort, more patience in order to come up with the correct data or answer with the hypothesis that you want. Then the last one is you're going to analyze the results of your research. And of course, we have the methodologies, primary researching method and the secondary researching method. So when we say primary, we are conducting interviews through a survey or observational method and the focus group discussion. So those are method that you're going to employ in order to collect data in your research. And for the secondary researching method, we have the literature research, online research, and case study research. Okay, yan po yung recap ng ating topic this morning. So, ulitin ko as what Albert Einstein said, that play is the highest form of research. So that's why if you want to have a research in your particular area or in your particular town or school, of course, you yourself will do practical application. So ikaw mismo yung magkakandak. Huwag mong huwag mong iasa sa iba. Ikaw mismo so that you can able to understand the sentiment of the participants that you're going to have an interview to them. So ikaw mismo in practical application. So in other words, pag quali, that is open-ended question. Pag quantitative naman is close-ended question. That is according to Ma'am Rowena while ago. So, that's all for the recap. So, are you ready for the workshop that we are going to do this morning? My dear participants, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
I hope that you have
Opo,
already
opo, ma'am. Po.
your group. Who is the facilitator for the Palimbang National High School? May I know who is the facilitator for the Palimbang National High School? Mayroon ba? May napili na ba kayong facilitator?
Good morning,
How
ma'am.
about the Yes po.
Good morning. From
Yeah.
Palibang National High
Good.
School po.
Okay. So, I hope na mayroon na po kayong napili na 5 research topic so that you are ready with the workshop. So, okay na po ang Palimbang. Okay, thank you. How about the Milbok National High School? You can open naman your camera and your microphone if you have something to say. Okay, thank you, Palimbang National High School. How about the Milbok National High School?
Yes,
Milbok
ma'am.
National. Okay, si Carl Jessa Rodrigo. Ikaw po yung facilitator.
Ana po.
Ana po.
Si Ana
Ay,
po.
Ana. Okay, thank you, Ana Rebecca, for the facilitator of Milbok National High School. I hope that you are ready with the 5 research topic. And how about for Mamanswal Abdul National High School? Mamanswal? Who is the facilitator for the Mamanswal Abdul National High School?
Ma'am, pangansayan na siya po.
Okay, you are acknowledged. Nor Shahada Pangansayan is the facilitator for the Mamanswal Abdul National High School. But before that, I'm very thankful with the research advisor of Palimbang, Sir Jumar Nguda, sir. Thank you so much. And Ma'am Rubilin Unalin for Melbourne National High School, and Ma'am Amria Tagulanaw for the Mamanswal Abdul National High School. Okay, so first, who will be the one first to present? But before that, please ready for the sharing of screen of the 5 topics that you're going to present. So, okay, sundan nyo lang ako. The first thing that we're going to do, punta po tayo sa Google Scholar. Okay, Google Scholar.
Alam mo.
Ma'am Wing, kindly please help me, Ma'am Wing. Medyo mahina talaga yung internet connection ko, Ma'am Wing.
Yes po.
Okay, stop my sharing. Okay, please go to Google Scholar. Doon sa Google Chrome ninyo. Yes po. Sa Google Chrome ninyo, Opo, ma'am. I'm going to have instruction lang muna while you are presenting. Okay, ang unang gagawin po natin, participants, punta po tayo sa Google Chrome. Okay, pag nandiyan na po kayo sa Google Chrome, type Google Scholar. Because Google Scholar is one of the search engine that can able to help us find related literature of the topic that we want to have a research. So nakakatulong po yung Google Scholar para makakuha po tayo ng ating mga related topics that can able to support our 5 research topic that you formulate. Okay, so nasa Google Chrome na po ba tayo?
Dali lang, Ma'am Berlini, maybe we should wait for Ma'am Rowena para sa presentation.
Yes, nag-instruct lang po ako while hindi pa na-present. At least ma-ready na po sila. Medyo mahina kasi yung internet connection ngayon. Pero okay lang. We will trying our best naman. So don't you worry for the other participants na hindi maka-access kasi anyway, our webinar is recorded naman po. We will forward this video maybe tomorrow to your research coordinator.
Wala na.
Okay, so sundan nyo lang yung nasa screen. You can go to Google Chrome, then type Google Scholar. Then search. After that, kayo na po yung ipapresent ko. Okay, then nandyan na kayo sa Google Scholar, then you're going to type what particular topic that you want. For example, Ma'am Rowena, leadership. For example,
ano na lang, ma'am?
your...
Kuan lang siguro sa level lang nila.
Oh, sige, sige. For example, what? Absenteeism.
Sa science. Sa ilang topic sa science, for example. Sa ilang lesson.
Ano na lang, ma'am?
Kami na lang po ang
sa ano na...
facilitate sa Google Scholar kasi mahirap po talagang signal eh.
Okay, okay po, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Noted po. Ano na lang, Ma'am Weng? About absenteeism.
Ma'am, nakapasok na po ako sa Google Scholar mo.
Very good. Sundan mo lang itong nasa screen natin na gina-present ni Ma'am Weng. Then, plus mixed methods. Plus mixed methods. So, sundan lang po ninyo yung nasa screen natin na gina-share ni Ma'am Rowena. Then, search. Okay, so yan, lumabas na po yung mga related topics or research about absenteeism. So, diyan po natin makikita yung iba't ibang research topic that can really support our research topic that we want to. So, halimbawa lang po yung absenteeism. So, depende po yun ngayon mamaya sa nagawa po ninyong topic dyan na pinagawa ko sa inyo that you are going to present. So, kayo mismo yung magpre-present mamaya kung okay po yung inyong internet connection. If hindi naman, you can ask Ma'am Rowena to present, then kayo lang po yung magsasalita so that kayo mismo mai-experience po ninyo paano gamitin yung search engine ng Google Scholar na nakakatulong sa atin at para hindi po tayo mangangapa sa dilim in our research topic that we want in our practical research 1 and practical research 2 in senior high school grade 12. Yan, so nakikita natin na marami po tayong mga mixed methods na research nandiyan po sa Google Scholar. So lahat po ng topic na gusto natin nasa Google Scholar. And of course, if wala naman sa Google Scholar yung topic ninyo, you can actually use also the Library Genesis. So isa din siyang search engine, ang Library Genesis. Pwede i-copy lang ninyo yung title ng topic ninyo or encode ninyo sa Library Genesis as one of the search engine. Then search, makikita naman ninyo lalabas yung mga related topics doon sa Library Genesis. So, actually, yung nandito sa Google Scholar, you can open that. Pwede ninyong i-open yan siya. Try to open, Ma'am Weng, yung number 1, yung understanding. Para at least makita nila na pwede na nilang ma-open yung title na yon. Okay, ito na. Understanding the link between leadership and employee satisfaction and absenteeism. Mixed methods design study in the mental health care institution. So, itong topic na ito is very current talaga siya kasi nga talking about the mental health, more especially now we are in the trying time of pandemic, we are in the adjustment period. So, napapanahon talaga yung research topic niya that understanding the link between leadership style, employee satisfaction, and absenteeism, a mixed methods design study, and a mental health care institution. So, yan. So, makikita mo nandyan yung mga abstract, introduction, lahat na part po ng research nandyan po siya sa Google Scholar. So, at least, hindi na po kayo mangangapa sa dilim kung saan po kayo kukuha ng inyong related study to be put in your RRL or yung related review of literature of your study. Kasi yung study niyo dapat may mag-support po siya na previous study. Actually, of course, magkaiba naman kayo ng participants or respondents. So, naintindihan ba ninyo how we are going to look up for any topic that we want in the Google Scholar? First, go to the Google Chrome. Next, type Google Scholar, then search. Paglalabas na yung Google Scholar, then i-type mo lang yung particular topic that you want. Kung ano yung gusto mo na topic na i-search sa Google Scholar or hahanapin, then search. So lalabas na po yan yung iba't ibang related topics. Then click mo lang yung bawat title ng topic na gusto mo. Then don't forget that pag kukuha ka ng RRL sa Google Scholar, do not forget to acknowledge the author of the study. Kailangan wag na wag ninyong kalimutan para hindi po tayo ma-charge sa plagiarism. Para hindi tayo ma-plagiarize. Always acknowledge the author of the research. So, naintindihan po ba natin, participants? Hello? Hello, participants?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, very good. That you are fast. Yes. I know that you are very fast learner when it comes to technology kasi mas advanced po kayo kaysa sa amin kasi kami nasa 40s na yung kaedad namin, of course. We have
Mama ko po, hirap po kasi yung connect, ma'am.
Okay lang yung mga mahirap yung internet, okay lang. You can actually explore this one pag mayroon na kayong magandang connection. Ang importante, alam na po ninyo yung process na ang Google Scholar is one of the search engine that you can use for your own convenience. Then, next, doon po tayo mamuwing sa Library Genesis. Okay, mag-add lang po kayo ng okay. Okay, so i-type nyo lang po ang libgen.is. Yan, nakikita niyo sa presentation, libgen.is, then search. Okay, yan na. Lumabas na yung Library Genesis. So, sa Library Genesis, isa din po siya na search engine. I-type nyo din po dyan yung gusto ninyo na topic, then search. So, Google Scholar and Library Genesis, tax-free po siya. So, libre po tayo maka-access niyan. As long as mayroon po tayong internet connection. So, pag sa mga thesis, so i-click lang ninyo yung scientific articles after ninyo ma-type yung topic ninyo. Pag gusto naman ninyo ng mga libro, nandyan po yung mga non-fiction, magazines, nandyan po siya. So, then, i-click lang po ninyo yung search. I-try natin mamuing yung absenteeism. Ulit, kung nandyan ba sa Library Genesis.
Yes.
Just like in the Google Scholar.
Yes.
Plus mixed methods again. Actually, ang mixed methods matagal na. Pero ngayon lang parang pinagbibigyan ng pansin. Okay. Ano ba? No files were found. Wala daw siyang files were found. Hindi ko masyado makita. Search. Sa scientific article, ma'am. Okay, sundan lang po ninyo yung process para mas madali po ninyo maintindihan. Try to search mixed methods. Okay, wala po siya sa library. Other topic daw, ma'am. Leadership. Okay, yan na. Makikita natin sa first column ang author ng leadership na topic, then articles, what are the articles, then journals, file, and mirror. So makikita natin nandyan na lahat yung kakailanganin natin. I-click lang po natin yung sci-hub. Halimbawa, dyan sa mirror, sci-hub. Sa number 1. Okay, lumabas na po yung topic about leadership. So meaning, madali na po para sa atin ng mga researcher, most especially sa level in formulating your research topic as a requirements, of course, in your practical research 1 and practical research 2. So at least, hindi na po tayo mangangapa saan tayo kukuha ng mga related topics ng mga books. Most especially in Palimbang, we do not have enough reference book for the practical research 1 and practical research 2. So, ang importante lang, mayroon po tayong internet connection so that we may able to access the Google Scholar and the Library Genesis. Anyway, not only the two research engine, but mayroon pa tayong Mendeley, mayroon tayong Sotero, and many other search engine that we can easily use for our own convenience. Pero dito, yun lang muna, yung Google Scholar and the Library Genesis. So, nasundan po ba ninyo yung ating presentation on how to do in searching a topic in the Google Scholar and Library Genesis? Nasundan po ba natin participants?
Yes po.
Yes, ma'am.
Opo, ma'am.
Okay.
Opo, ma'am.
Okay, very good. Okay, so thank you so much. So, sino po yung mauna na mag-present? Sino po yung mauna mag-present na school? Okay. So, Palimbang National High School. Okay, Palimbang National High School, okay na ba? Okay ba yung internet connection nyo? Thank you so
Ma'am,
much.
baka pwede yung iba na lang yung mauna, ma'am.
Okay,
Net namin, ma'am.
okay.
Patay-patay. Good.
Sige
Okay,
po.
good.
Okay,
Good morning po.
next na lang daw ang
Good
Palimbang.
morning,
So
sir.
next, yes, good morning, sir.
Ma'am, good morning po.
Yes, good morning, Sir Jomar. You are acknowledged.
From Palimbang National High School. Okay po.
Yes po.
So, yung account ko lang po yung gamitin, pero yung mag-present po is students po.
Okay, sir. Acknowledging po, sir. Acknowledge po namin
Okay
yung
po.
ano ninyo, sir. Opo, okay. So, the first presenter is from
Okay.
Palimbang National High School. Titingnan natin pag nasundan nila yung how to use the Google Scholar and the Library Genesis. Okay, you may share your screen, please.
Pero,
Yes, sir.
ma'am,
Yes po, sir. Yes po, sir.
for us to share our screens kasi po, cellphone lang po ang gamit namin.
Pwede po na pwede tayong makisuyo kay Ma'am Rowena, sir.
Opo. Makisuyo na lang po kami na sila na lang po yung mag-drive, kami na lang po magsabi ng mga
Okay
topic
po,
namin.
sir. Yes, okay. So, Ma'am Rowena, please. Thank you.
Thank you po.
Okay, welcome, sir. Okay, you can start po.
Open cam. Okay po, good morning.
Yes, good morning po.
Palimbang National High School. So, sa Google Scholar, sa search engine ng Google Scholar, andito po yung topic namin. Okay. first is we have the learning style preference of senior high school student and its effect to their academic performance. Learning style preference of senior high school student and its effect to their academic performances. And it's a mixed method of research po.
Next po, the learning style preference of senior high school students. Nakamute po kayo, sir.
Sir Nguda, nakamute po yung microphone ninyo.
So,
after this one, what's
okay
next?
na po.
The learning
number one,
style
yun,
preference.
tapos na po. So, ang number...
wait lang sa gang ha. The learning style
Yes,
preference
learning
of senior
style.
high school students. It is also a mixed method.
Students.
So, plus, mixed method.
Mixed method. And its
So,
effect...
you should...
Then search.
Mixed method.
Okay. So, these are the results.
Ayan na. Okay na. Then, proceed na ba kami sa number 2?
Yes, at least nakita nyo, sir, na ang dami ninyong related studies.
Sige po. Number 2 po.
Pwede lang din
So,
po.
the number
pwede
2
lang
is...
din po. Pwede lang din po na pwede lang din po na learning style preference. Tapos mixed method para hindi siya masyadong mahaba. Pwede nyo lang ilagyan ng plus. And pwede nyo ding lagyan dito ng plus Philippines.
Or palimbang. Pwede rin, ma'am, no? Para at least malaman ninyo kung may nag-study na ba.
Palimbang.
Palimbang. So, the purpose na nilagyan ni ma'am ng palimbang, malalaman natin kung may nag-study na ba na taga-palimbang ng ganyan na study. Kung saan po kayo na area.
Okay. So, next. Balik tayo doon. Sige daw.
We have this. So, ang next po na topic, research title namin is Skills Development of TBL Students in the New Normal Education. Skills Development of TBL Students.
Okay.
TBL, ma'am. TBL.
TBL students.
In new normal ba yun?
In the new normal education.
Plus mixed methods. Plus palimbang, ma'am. Okay. Pwede nyo basahin yung title po, presenter.
Skills Development of TBL Students in the New Normal Education.
Yan na po yung na-research natin o na lumabas.
Wala pang ganyang study ang palimbang.
Yes, so very good yan na studyhan nila. Kasi wala pang nag-study sa palimbang. Maybe in other countries, marami na yan. Very good.
Okay.
Next.
Pwede na po ba mag-next?
Opo.
Yung next is the impact of technology to the academic performance of the students.
Impact of
The
technology.
impact of technology to the academic performance of the students.
Good afternoon po, ma'am.
Yes po.
Hindi.
So, these are the
Kailan
results.
sila
Okay, maraming mga related research.
Okay na siguro, Ma'am Mel.
Okay na.
Para makaproceed sa iba kasi
time is up.
we are running out of time.
Next po ba?
Okay na po siguro Palimbang
Mag-next na
National
po.
High School. Okay na kayo Palimbang National High School. Alam na ninyo how to do that. At least nakita nyo yung kung paano talaga ginagawa. Okay, thank you for the Palimbang National High School. Next. Anong school ang next? Milbok National High School.
Good morning po.
Yes, good morning.
Ma'am, makikisuyo po kami, ma'am, kasi naka-cellphone lang po kami.
Okay. So, Ma'am Rowena will do the honor. Okay, what is your first research topic? Milbok National High School that you want to?
Okay po, this is our first research topic.
Yes.
The right for employment. Vaccinated and non-vaccinated individuals. Vaccinated and non-vaccinated individuals. Plus mix method.
Wala po.
Spelled correctly.
Unvaccinated.
Unvaccinated.
So this means na pag ito yung study nyo, mahihirapan kayo sa pag-gather ng RRL because there is none, wala pang study about this one.
Okay po.
So sila pa yung pinakauna kumbaga.
Oo. So mahirapan kayo to gather your RRL.
Next topic na po.
Okay, at least 3. Okay na yung 3.
The effect of suffrage right of the people of the Philippines.
Ayan, meron.
The effect.
Marami. So marami po kayong mga related literature that can support your study. Plus Palimbang daw, Ma'am Weng. Tingnan natin pag mayroon nang nag-study sa Palimbang. O ang Milbok pa lang ang pinaka-mauunang-una.
Ay, okay.
Palimbang. Wala din.
So wala din, no? So meaning, kayo po yung pinakauna na mag-study ng effect of suffrage right of the people of the Philippines in Palimbang. So pag i-porso po ninyo ito, Milbok National High School, kayo po yung pinakauna na mag-study ng ganitong topic sa particularly in Palimbang municipality.
Mental health.
Very good. Oo, very good. I-porso po ninyo ito. So okay na po ba Milbok National High School? I know alam na ninyo how. So that we can proceed to Mamanswal. Okay na po ba Milbok National High School? Okay, thank you so much.
Po pa.
Okay, may isa pa. Okay, may isa pa.
Ito pa. Mental health.
Mental health.
Overcoming depression and anxiety of senior high school students. 3 unta to readiness.
Pwede nyo palitan.
Ma'am, 3 pa po yung idadagdag.
Sige. Okay.
Take your time. Ito pa.
Take your time.
Mental health.
Next.
Overcoming depression. And anxiety of senior high school students.
Mixed methods. Okay, marami po siya. Plus Palimbang po, ma'am.
Nana.
Ay, Nana, okay. So, may Palimbang ba? Wala din siyang Palimbang.
Your other study, you can explore that in your own if you have time, ma'am. Kung may time na kayo, you can explore that in Google Scholar so that you can also try it on your own. Kaya iba talaga pag kayo talaga ang gumagawa sa pagpasok diyan sa sa pagpasok diyan sa InGen. Okay, you can try that the remaining 2, you can try that in your own. Okay?
Sige po. Thank you po.
Thank you then.
Okay, thank you so much, Milbok National High School. Then next is the last one is High School. I hope may natin sila. Mamanswal Abdul National High School, are you there? Yes po.
Ma'am, excuse me po, from Milbok National High School po.
Yes po, Ma'am Jackie.
Yes po, ma'am. Yung 5 examples po ng titles is hindi na kailangan po i-present or okay na yung 3 na nasabi ng presenter.
Okay na po yun.
Okay
Kung
na yun.
may still enough time sana tayo kahit marami pa doon. But anyway, malapit lang man ako sa inyo. You can chat me or you can go to my house. Anyway, pwede kayo magpaturo sa akin anytime for free.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you din. Okay, ready na po bang Mamanswal Abdul National High School, the last presenter?
Opo, ma'am.
Where is Nur Shahad? Okay.
Ma'am, nandito po.
Laptop po gamit
You can
mo?
present.
Laptop po? Laptop gamit mo, Nur Shahada? Nur Shahada?
We can present
Laptop po
lang.
gamit
Ma'am,
niyo?
cellphone lang po. Cellphone lang po. Cellphone po,
Okay.
ma'am.
Opo. Okay, we will wait for the presentation of Manswal Abdul National High School.
Makisuyo po sana kay Ma'am Rowena.
Okay, yeah.
Hi,
Yes,
Ma'am Rowena. Okay, Ma'am Rowena will do the honor.
Okay na.
Yes po.
Okay.
Engagement of students.
Next.
In technology. In bar.
Next po.
Wala na, Nurse Shahada? Hello,
Hindi po
Nurse
makita.
Mahina yung internet niya, mahina. Yan lang po ba, Nurse Shahada?
Na po masyado yung
Engagement of
connection ko.
students?
Opo.
Okay.
In technology.
You can type in the chat box.
Okay
Pwede
na
mo
po, yan
i-chat.
yan po.
Okay. Search, ma'am.
Na-search na po.
Okay na. Nandyan na po, Nurse Shahada. So, wala pa rin kalimbang na study. So, you have different related studies, Nurse Shahada, when it comes to engagement of technology. Next. Ano po yung pangalawa?
Perception of senior high school students on English-only policy. Perception of school students on English.
Okay, yan. Marami
Okay
po.
po yun.
Yes, very good. Marami din po siyang RL. Pukunan din. Okay na po ba, Nurse Shahada?
Opo, ma'am. And next one is mental health awareness.
Mental health awareness.
For senior high school students.
Oops. Ayan, marami din po, Nurse Shahadang RRL. Marami kayong mapagkukunan. Okay, so thank you so much, Manswal Abdul National High School. So actually, you can explore this search engine. Kung mayroon po kayong magandang internet connection, you can explore it on your own. Madali lang naman. Unang-una, you can go to Google Chrome, type Google Scholar, search, and then pag lumabas na yung Google Scholar, type your topic, plus mix methods kung gusto ninyo yun yung research methodology ninyo. Then plus kung anong area kayo na saan nakatira. So that, the purpose of that, malalaman ninyo kung mayroon na po bang nag-study ng ganyan in that particular area. Para walang duplication, kumbaga dyan na, kumbaga kayo yung pinakauna na mag-study ng ganyan sa inyong lugar. Yun po yung purpose ng ating pagsa-search doon sa Google Scholar and the Library Genesis as a search engine that can help us in our research topic that we want to in pursuing our practical research 1 and 2, especially in the senior high school. So nakakatulong talaga yan not only to all of us as a researcher, but of course to those people that we want to conduct a research. So thank you so much for the participation of the 3 schools, most especially the presenter, and of course they're very brilliant and knowledgeable also in research. Their research coordinator and of course the research teacher. So thank you so much for that cooperation in this webinar about the mixed methods of research. So Ma'am Amria, you may take the floor.
Ayan, thank you so much po, Ma'am Merlanie. And thank you so much po sa ating mga resource speakers. Opportunity po para sa ating mga students po nila ang mga ganito po. So to formally close our webinar, let's have Walter C. Lapinig, Senior High School Coordinator of Mamanswal Abdul National High School.
Okay, kindly open your camera na po to see it's one of us.
Wa man?
Okay.
Tapos na po ba nag-present yung Mamanswal?
Yes po, tapos na po ang Mamanswal.
Principal at different schools, teachers, students, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good noon to each and everyone. First of all, we would like to extend our heartfelt thanks and gratitude to all students for spending their time for the support of this mixed method research design. Hope that you gain more and additional knowledge in this mixed methods research design. Bear it in our mind and put it in our hearts. So, ma'am, and ma'am, congratulations to all of you for the job well done. Our program is formally closed. Keep safe and may the Lord God bless us all.
Thank you, sir. So thank you so much to our senior high school coordinator.
Yes, of course, sa ating mga ng ating webinar certificates. So what first, thank you for and to our participants, thank you for staying with us. Of all of us, thank you for joining us today and have a great rest of the day.
Yes, thank you so much, Ma'am Amria, our very supportive research coordinator of Mamanswal Abdul National High School. Thank you so much. And of course, before we end our webinar, kindly open your camera first so that we may have our documentation. Please, Ma'am Rowena, do the honor for the documentation. Kindly open your camera.
Lagi mo open yung mga dance. Open your camera daw, guys.
Para makita namin kayo, of course. Yes, gaganda. Mga gwapo. Yung iba hindi pa naka-open, please. Yes. Documentation po natin.
Gamay lang ang sulod.
Ano ma'am, yung iba mag-off naman mamaya para yung iba naman ano. Okay, Research Coordinator Palimbang. Sir, thank you so much. How about the Research Coordinator Melbook National High School? Ma'am Ronilyn Pulido, ma'am, andyan ka pa po ba?
Okay, by school muna tayo para magkasya lahat. Okay, open.
Ano lang muna?
Anong school muna? Palimbang National High School.
Okay,
Then,
Palimbang
say
National
something. Then say something para mag-flash kayo sa sa screen. Open your cam, then say something.
Palimbang muna ako.
PNS po, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you sa
1,
lahat
2,
ng
3.
participants.
Okay, another one. Okay, next. Anong school yun, ma'am?
Palimbang po.
Milbook siguro next.
Okay, next, Milbook National High School. Paki-open ng cam, then say something.
Hi, ma'am.
Yes. Hi, ma'am.
Hello po. Hi, ma'am.
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
Thank you. Next. Next school, Ma'am Sidil.
Mansual po, Mansual.
Mansual High School. Okay, say something on camera, then say something.
Mansual.
Sana yung mamaswal.
Mansual. Okay. Open your cam. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Smile. Hi, ma'am. Okay. Naka-off cam kayo. Okay, another one. 1, 2, 3. Smile. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so thank you so much, my dear participants. Yes, thank you sa ating mga mahal na principal from Milbook National